Welcome to the Retire with Confidence podcast, the podcast that provides you with actionable information for your retirement planning journey. Join us as we dive into topics such as financial planning, taxes, investments, Social Security, Medicare, personal health and wellness, and more. Get ready to take charge of your retirement future with expert advice and insights.
Welcome back to the Retire with Confidence podcast. As always, I am your host, Dave Zaegel, and this episode is brought to you by CWOs for Hire, which is the financial planning firm that I co-own with my partner, Dennis. We focus a lot on retirement planning within there, hence why we are able to bring this podcast to you, because a lot of times we're talking with clients, they have questions, we want to bring these to you, hence the podcast itself. On this episode, I want to talk about an experience I had not too long ago where I was in the grocery store with one of my children and overheard this, we'll call him elderly man, older gentleman, asking for a Mega Millions lottery ticket from the cashier. And so many things went through my mind. None of them were judgmental towards that person, but there's so much with the lottery that I try to warn people against, that I wanted to bring this to you as we talk about retirement and retirement planning and retirement with confidence. Specifically, let's cover two things when we talk about playing the lottery and why I think it's probably not the best idea to do. Now, if you are older, I'd have a general rule of saying, hey, once you get to a certain age, do what you want. You know, I recently was talking with somebody who they were lamenting the fact that they couldn't get their father to quit smoking. When we talked a little bit more, we found out that their father was something like 93 or 94, to which I said, let the poor guy smoke, go for it. So there is some level of, hey, once you've attained a certain age, just enjoy, do what you feel. So I'd have no problem with that. So this gentleman wanted to play the lottery, fine. I don't have any judgment against him specifically. But I do want to warn against two things. First of all, we work really hard to try to get people to reduce the amount of taxes they pay overall in retirement. It's important to understand that when you buy a lottery ticket, you are essentially voluntarily paying taxes. That's where the money goes. Money goes towards the government. And again, you could say, yes, well, it funds schools and funds other things, which is at least partially true. But you have to realize that you have a very, very, very small chance of winning, especially winning anything big. Therefore, you are essentially taking that money and voluntarily paying a tax to the government. So be mindful of what it is that you are doing. These governments don't have these lotteries for charitable purposes. They're there to raise money for the government, and then obviously they have to pay out when somebody wins, but obviously they take in more than they give out. So hence the fact that it is effectively a tax being voluntarily paid by those who are playing the lottery. So keep that in mind. One, it's a tax no matter how you look at it. Second thing is, I do not wish winning the lottery on anybody. And people are always amazed when they talk about the lottery or ask if I'm playing the lottery or whatever. And I say, no, thank you. I'll very kindly say, I have a very nice life. I'd rather not have it be ruined by winning the lottery, because there is a big difference between building something or saving money and investing it and having that grow versus just receiving a payout where you didn't really have to do anything for it. I know that sounds strange, but there is a gigantic difference between earning it along the way, even if it's done quickly, versus just getting the money. And obviously there's stories you can go online and read all about how most people who win the lottery actually go broke and how it ruins their lives. And so I just caution everybody, before thinking that the lottery is going to somehow solve your retirement problems or build this amazing life, to understand that when you're buying a lottery ticket, especially if you're in a situation where your retirement's already in great shape and we've done this planning and you're taken care of, buying this lottery ticket is more likely to just screw everything up than it is to give you some amazing life for the last few decades of your life. It really causes a lot of issues in terms of not only managing the money, but then what people's expectations are of you. There's a lot more things to take care of. In fact, if you go online and read these stories, it's amazing. You'll hear about people that won the lottery and they bought all these houses, and then they just almost got crushed by the weight of having to manage and think about all this stuff, because that's all it is stuff. You don't need that. If you've done the planning and you have a good life and you're happy, don't try to get $50 million. It just isn't worth it. It really is not worth the headache, the hassle. And I can understand it's better than being broke. I get that. So please don't misunderstand to say, oh my gosh, money is bad. That's not the case. It's the case that when you're already in a good financial position, more money can often make things worse for you. So just be mindful of that as you think about playing the lottery. And yeah, it's cool. Maybe this one's worth 100 million, whatever. If you win, what are you actually going to do? What is your life going to look like if you actually did win versus the amazing life that you have now? So take that into consideration. One, it's a tax by putting the money in. Two, if you get it, you may not be so happy that you actually won.